Hi, we're just the Islamic Society of Santa Barbara here with the Muslim Student Association from UCSB. We're just helping out here with the Interfaith Initiative and talking about our pilgrimage, the Hajj, which is during this time, during the month of Dhul Hijjah, which we call it's based off of a lunar calendar. And so there are quite a few Muslims now, millions actually, in Saudi Arabia performing the Hajj. They will be performing it in a few days, and we're just here to talk about our pilgrimage and educate others, as well as learn ourselves about the other pilgrimages with regards to other faiths as well. So it's good to be here.
Tell me your name again and your group.
My name is Nabil Alshurafa with the Islamic Society of Santa Barbara, as well as the Muslim Student Association, MSA of UCSB.
Are you guys going to pray Maghrib?
We will soon.
We're with Afaf, Turjoman, and we're at the Interfaith Initiative dinner, and she's going to talk to us about the theme of pilgrimage. It says, many roads, converging roads. Tell us about that, Afaf.
Hi, this is a very special time of year for Muslims, because this is the time of year when the Hajj takes place in Mecca. And I think 2 to 3 million make it to Mecca each year. And usually it's the 12th month of the Islamic year, and we use the lunar calendar. So now I think this is the 3rd or 4th day. And people go on a 4 or 5 day pilgrimage to Mecca to commemorate a lot of the things that Prophet Abraham did. And if you're familiar with the Kaaba, it's in Mecca. It's the big black cube. And so one of the things that's done is to go around the Kaaba 7 times. The circumambulation is to reaffirm that God is at the center of our lives. And then there is the sa'i. The sa'i is the going back and forth between the 2 hills, and that where Prophet Abraham left Hagar, his wife, and his son Ishmael. And it was a barren city, and there was nothing there. And there she went from one hill to the other to look for water for her son. And then miraculously water sprung forth, and it became a city. And so when pilgrims go on the pilgrimage to Mecca, they do the same thing to commemorate her faith that she had in God and being left alone there. And that well, or that water that sprung forth, is called Zamzam. Until today, is giving water. And so the millions of people that pass through it every year, they drink from it, they take some home. So there's a special blessing in that. And then there's several other things that are done in order to commemorate things that Prophet Abraham did. And one of them is the sacrifice of his son. So at the end of the pilgrim, people sacrifice an animal in the name of God. So people are fed throughout the world. And it really is a very special time for us. So next Friday is the culmination of the Hajj. The Hajj ends. And so for those of us who are unfortunate to go this year, every Muslim is required to go at least once in their lifetime, if they're able to financially and physically. And so it's really a very special time for us. It's the biggest Muslim holiday of the year. And so as Muslims in this community, we try to keep up with the traditions, because we have Muslims in Santa Barbara who come from every part of the world. And it's a good time for community and family. And so coming together here today is special because we hear about pilgrimage in other faiths as well.
Tell us about that aspect, about the interfaith aspect. Why is it important for people to share the experience?
I think it's really important to learn about each other. We can build bridges of understanding, and in this day and age, I think that's very important that we do that. And so I always look forward to these events, and I try to bring my whole family, and we take part so we can learn and teach. I think it's a wonderful thing that the Interfaith puts on.
And you're on the board of directors, I see.
Yes.
Good. Are there any other events you want to tell us about that you all do throughout the year?
You mean the Interfaith Initiative? Well, this is our biggest event of the year, and it's usually the best attended. A few months ago, at the heels of the Dalai Lama being here in Santa Barbara, we had a dinner, and we had it here at St. Raphael's. They're gracious hosts.
It's a beautiful place.
It's
huge.
beautiful, and they're so generous with letting us use the space. And this year we have the labyrinth outside, so people can all experience walking the labyrinth.
And what about dinner? What's on the menu for tonight?
Okay, we're having the dinner catered from an Indian restaurant. We have lamb korma and chicken tikka masala and naan and white rice, and it's going to be a delicious meal.
Thank you, Afaf. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you. Nice talking to you, Cathy.
Anything else you want to add about this experience tonight? You're hostessing. What does that mean?
I'm just going to sit at the tables and talk to people about their pilgrimages and their religions and just get to know them, people from other faiths.
And tell us your name again?
Dalia?
Dalia. All right. All right. Thank you. You have a question?
So Dalia, what's your favorite class or activity at DP?
Definitely choir.
You
choir
sing?
at DP. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
She's a wonderful singer.
I know. I didn't get that talent myself, but so I always admire people who can sing. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Well, tell us why you're involved with the initiative.
Well, actually, I'm on the board of the Interfaith Initiative, and it's something that I've always been very interested in. I was one of the founding board members, and over the years, especially growing up in the 50s and 60s, I've always wanted to see increased unity, no matter where it was or on what foundation it was built. And I've always had deep spiritual interests, especially Eastern spirituality. I was raised in this country in the traditional Western faith, but I've had an opportunity to live in Kenya and met lots of Buddhists and Hindus. Twice, actually. I taught at the University of Nairobi there, 70s and 80s, and made several trips to India. But my real deep sense about what we should do and how we should be has to do with the unity that we can promote and experience, with others. That when you go deep enough in any tradition or any foundation, you'll start to come across groundwater. And it's important that we find those spaces where we can see a commonality and then live a better life, in greater cooperation and unity. And that's really, the bottom line of it. So even, there's so many areas of commonality. And of course, as individual egos, we sometimes focus on the differences. But those differences pale when you understand. Knowledge is not sufficient. When you really understand and really hope to have this kind of world that we always talk about, you can do your part. Every day you can do your part in these kinds of things. So it's just another avenue, as far as I see it, to bring, deeper understanding and to actually try to do something with your energy and time that promotes these ideals.
Very nice.